Welcome back, guys. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how we can use Amazon's Comprehend service, which is an NLP based on using the machine learning techniques to give you different kinds of services from text. Right? We can as they said, discover insights and relationships in text. We will look at using key phrase extraction and sentiment analysis from this Amazon's service. To get some content, what we are going to do is look at a stream from Twitter based on certain hashtags. Okay. The hashtags which we are going to read will be using this, spatie package, Laravel Twitter streaming API, which is a wrapper on top of the Twitter streaming API, which is a PHP package which you can use on any framework. And this particular package is a wrapper on top of that. If you see in composer.json, right, you will find out that the base package is Twitter streaming API. Okay, this is a pure PHP package and we are using this wrapper. Okay, so I have a clean Laravel installation, and on this we are going to start our coding. So the first thing which I'm going to do is do composer require, okay, this package. And once this is done, let us also set up our database structure. Okay, so inside my env, I'll go and I have a new database created called Twitter underscore sentiment. So I'll use that, Twitter sentiment. The password and username are correct. Okay, we are going to use a Redis queue for this, and so I'll add this. To use Redis queue, we will need to install the predis package as well. Okay, so we will add that as well. I'll let you know how I know this. So I'll go to the Laravel docs. Okay, and if you search for queue, okay, I think here you should get search for predis, right? So basically it says that we need to install either this package or we should have or the PHP Redis extension. Okay, so I'm going to use this package. Okay, I haven't yet installed the package. Why is this happening? I think my net is giving problems. It's still working, but it's slow, so it's taking a bit of time. I'll wait for it. Twitter streaming API package installed, and now what I am going to do is install this PHP Redis as well. So composer require this. Okay, and in the meantime, let's open up a new terminal, and what we will do is look at this package and how do we install it. Okay, so the first thing is the service provider will be automatically configured, so we don't need to worry, but we need to publish this configuration. So I'll go over here. Okay. This configuration is added, so inside our config folder we have this. Okay, so we need these tokens. Okay, copy them. First we need to add them to our env. Okay, so we need the values. For that you need to have a Twitter account, obviously, because we are going to use the Twitter API. I already have that, so I'll open up this application page. Okay, it takes you to developer.twitter.com. I have this app built while I was doing the R&D. Now if you go over here, you will see that there are consumer APIs and there are access tokens, right? You need to be careful about your access token because they cannot be seen again. You need to be, you need to store them safely. So the API key, the consumer API key, I'll add that consumer key as here, and consumer secret over here. And I have stored the access token and token secret. So I'll add them in my env and then I'll come back. Okay, so I have updated my env with those variables. And the next thing, let's go to the package. So once this is done, what we can do is we can listen to public streams. So how are we going to do that? I am going to create a command, and that command will execute this stream. So let's see how we can do that. I'll go to my terminal, do php artisan make, it's what, console, or let me see, it's okay, it's command. So php artisan make command, we'll name it Twitter listen stream. Okay, and now I'll go to my code. We'll have this new file in here. Okay, so let's do this boilerplate first. Okay, I will not do anything with the construct. We can leave it as it is, and then in here we will add this piece of code. Okay, and I'll add this use over here as well. Okay, why is it complaining? Undefined class, that's a little strange. Okay, I know this is going to break, so let's just keep it as it is right now. Okay, and over here it is doing an echo. So why don't we try that? php artisan tweet and then listen. Okay, while this is running, let's see, we have our Redis package installed as well. So all those things are done, and I need to wait for a new tweet to come up. Why don't we do one thing? We will try something a little more popular maybe. Let's try COVID-19. I hope this will give me a little more data. So php artisan tweet listen, and yes, we are getting a lot of tweets. Okay, so let me close that. So we are getting the basic connection, which is listening to a hashtag. Okay, our Twitter communication is done. Now how do we handle this and consume the data which is coming from the Twitter API? Okay, before we dive into that, I would like you to understand this suggestion which is given in the package, right? That on production, first of all, you need to run that command, and to keep this alive on the production environment, you should use something like supervisor, which is a a package, I would say a daemon which runs on the server, and it ensures that your command is running all the time. Okay, that is one piece which you need to be careful about. And the second thing is, the Twitter stream is going to send you a lot of data. Okay, we just saw the amount of data which is coming up for a very popular hashtag, right? So if you want to consume that data and you do want to insert it into the database, or maybe run some kind of analysis, what we are going to do, we should not do it in the same thread. We need to get the data and clear out the stream as soon as possible. And for that, what we are going to do is, in here, instead of echo, we are going to fire an event, and then this thing is done. Okay, so for that, first we will create an event. So PHP artisan make event new tweet event. Okay, and what we will do is we will fire the event new tweet event. Okay, and what we can do is just send the tweet which came up. Okay, this way we get that data inside our event. And if you're not aware, inside an event, if you declare any public property, that will be available to the handler. Okay, so this tweet is going to be equal to $tweet, which will come through the constructor. Okay, I think that's all we need to write in our event code. Okay, the next thing we will do is add a listener. What do we name our listener? We can say it's handle new tweet. Okay, and inside the listener, let's go over there. Inside our listener, okay, we will go into the handle method, and the event type will be new tweet event. Okay, right? Yeah, it is linked. So because the event type is new tweet link event, right? So we will get the tweet as event, or rather, why don't we just keep it as it is? Okay, so we'll get the tweet. Why don't we log it? Log JSON encode. Oops, JSON encode $event. Okay, it will give me in a JSON format, which I can then beautify to see the structure. Okay, now the thing is, once I run this command, right, which is this, where is it? Listen. So it will fire an event. Obviously, we saw that we have written that once it is here, we fire an event. So that's fine. The event will be raised, but how will Laravel know that this is the handler? So for that, we need to go into event service provider, and in this array, we declare that new tweet event class. Okay, when this is fired anywhere in the application, I will trigger this handler. Okay, this is how we register the handler for our events. Okay, for example, if you see registered event, when it is fired, the send email verification notification class is handling it. Okay, this is how Laravel works. So fine, we have registered our event and its handler. Now this means when I run the command to listen to the Twitter stream, I should be logging the data. So inside storage, logs, Laravel logs, I'll just clear my log file and listen to it. Okay, and now I have a hell lot of data in here. I'll quickly stop this and let's see. We have this entire JSON data in here. Okay, let me do a soft word wrap. Okay, come over here. Wow, this is huge. Right, it is going to end here. Let us see. Open up JSON beautifier. I think this is the one. No, I don't like this. JSON beautifier online. Yeah, this is the one. You can see I was playing around with things, so it remembers. Okay, it has the tweet. Okay, so why does it have the tweet in here? Am I logging the event? Oh yes, that's why it has the tweet, but ideally it will get the entire data directly. Okay, so we will have certain things like created ID and all those things, right? So now that we have this information in place, why don't we look at saving it to the database? So the first thing which we need to do is obviously create a model. PHP artisan make model. I'll need the migration, so tweet. Okay, and I'll also create one more model which is keyword. Okay, this is um, the data which we will get from the comprehend service which we will run. Okay, so I have two models. Let's set up the database structure and the relations. So let me open up my create tweet table file. Okay, what all fields do we need? We'll need to save the tweet ID. Okay, so let's just say it's unsigned big integer tweet ID. We'll save the created at. Okay, or we don't actually need it. Let's skip that. We need the text, so we'll save the text. Okay, if you see over here, this is the text that we are getting. Okay, then the next thing is we will save the username maybe. Okay, this is going to be string username. Then we save the sentiment, and we save the sentiment score as well. But also one thing which we need to do is we will save the tweet first and then we run the comprehend. So these two fields, sentiment and sentiment score, will be nullable. Okay, so this is done. The next table which we need to look at is create keywords. This is going to be simple. We store the tweet ID, we store the keyword, and you need to understand that this tweet ID is not actually this tweet ID which is coming from the Twitter's ID, but this is actually the ID from the tweets table. Okay, this is important because we need to set up the relations. So let's look at how do we set up the relation between the tweet and the keywords. So a tweet is related to a keyword that it will have many keywords. So we will have a relation, this has many keyword. Okay, and I'm going to sort this by the keyword so that I get the keyword list alphabetically. Okay, also let's set this so that we can do mass assignment while creating the tweet. Similarly, in keyword, we have the guarded property set to an empty array, so we can do mass assignment, and we are saying that a keyword belongs to a tweet. Okay, so this is how we have our relation set up. Now we will create a new service which will be responsible for saving and doing the rest of the things. So I'll create a new class over here. Name will be tweet service, namespace services. Okay, so in our tweet service, what we will do is have a handle method which will be responsible for working with the entire tweet. Okay, And how are we going to use this? Let's close this model, this keyword and everything. We come into our listener. Okay, this is where we get the event, right? So why don't we send it? Okay, I'll create an instance of tweet service in the constructor. And just remove the doc block. I don't need them. Right? So what are we doing here? I'm injecting the tweet service into the handler. Okay. And then we are just going to call this tweet service handle and we will pass event tweet. What is going to happen then is I'm going to get the tweet over here. So why don't we first log the tweet just to ensure that everything is correct. So JSON encode the data, open up my log file, clear things out, and for some time just listen. And let's see, we have a lot of data, right? So I'll close it. Okay, so what have we done? We are getting the tweet over here. So now before we do anything with that, I'd like to validate the tweet. Okay, we'll send the tweet. Okay, so basically on the validator we can validate any array. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are saying that the ID, text, and user dot screen name, if you look at the structure, right, user dot screen name, right? So these three properties are required. Okay, if my validator fails, I will not do anything with the data, because basically we are saying that we don't understand this particular data. However, if the validator is fine, okay, why is it complaining? Okay, it's return statement is missing. I will have this return true. Okay, so if the validator passes, then my data is going to be $validator validated. This gives me all these three fields. Okay, and now we need to tweak the data a bit. I'm going to say tweet ID is equal to data ID, right? This is because, by default, we are getting the ID in our data and we cannot set the ID field because that's our primary key. So it will complain. So we are changing that. Then we have our username field, right? That is going to be data user dot screen name. Okay. And then we unset data ID data user. Okay. Otherwise, we cannot send the entire array to the create function. So you see, now what I can do is tweet create data. That's it. So with this, we should have new tweets in our database. Why don't we give it a shot? We'll come over here. We will first run PHP artisan migrate. Okay. So we have all the fields, the tables, right? And now with our fingers crossed, let's run the command and refresh the database. I hope everything is correct. No, I think it's failing. Let's look at the log. What happened? I don't have anything in the logs. Okay, and I have around 166 tweets in my table. So let me close it out now. All right, we have the basic communication in place where we are getting the tweets into our database, right? I think we can now get rid of the log. And where am I logging it? Inside the handle, is it? Why are there so many logs? I don't understand. Okay, I think the logs were from the previous code base. We are not logging anything right now. We are sending them directly through the database. So the next thing that we would like to do is run comprehend. Okay. To work with comprehend, we need to install one more package, which is, I think comprehend has this AWS SDK, right? So PHP AWS SDK. Where's the GitHub link? Right. So I'll copy this. Composer require. Okay. And let's look at the comprehend API. AWS comprehend PHP. Okay. The spelling was wrong. Sorry. Right. So it says basically these are all the functions which are available with comprehend. Okay. We are going to use the sentiment. Where is that? Sentiment. Badge detect sentiment and badge detect key phrases. Okay. These are the two functions that we are going to use. Let's look at the API. So we need a client, right? So now we will need to create the client. Okay. And that's something which we will have to do using the keys which are available. So I'll tell you. Let's just say inside our config, sorry, we open up the services. Okay. And in here, like we have SES, right? We copy this and say comprehend. And we are going to use these two environment variables. Okay. I have kept it as a separate entry so that if I need to have a different key for comprehend, because many times what can happen is I will run one set of key for one service, let's say for the comprehend service, and the other one for, let's say, an email. So I want to keep that flexibility with me. Okay. Have we installed it? Yes. So with these keys done, we will create one more service, which is comprehend service. COMPRE, comprehend. Okay, the spelling is correct. So this is fine. In here, what are we supposed to do? First thing is we'll create a constructor and we will assume that we'll get the tweet which is saved in the database. So unlike the event where we were sending the PHP array of tweet, if you see new tweet event, right? We were expecting tweet, but I haven't typed hint it yet because it is an array. Okay. Or maybe we can do array. Why is it squawking? Let me remove that. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So, but in here, we are expecting the model. Okay. So initialize the properties, and I'll also create one more variable, which is the client. And this client will be equal to new comprehend client, and we need to pass certain config variables for it to initialize. Okay, so this is how we create the client. We pass the credentials as an array. We have the key and secret in here, and we pass the region and version. Okay. So I already have those keys in my env file. Now, once this is done, the next thing which we need to do is have a function, let's say called analyze. Okay. This is a public function which will call two internal functions. This, let's say, detect sentiment, sentiment, and the second one is detect keywords. Okay, I need to create those functions. Okay, so these functions are created, and if we now look at the API for sentiment, it says client batch sentiment, right? So we can copy this. This client will become this client. Okay, and we have batch sentiment. We will keep it en for now, and let's see the text list, right? I need to send an array of text list, and we have the tweet, so we can do tweet text. Okay, because we are getting the model. All right, so once we get this result, why don't we do logger JSON encode result? Okay, let's see what is coming up. And similarly, I'll have this entire thing duplicated, and we will run batch detect key phrases. Okay, the parameters are almost the same. So with this, we have our log files empty. Come over here. Oh, my bad. I think we haven't yet initialized the service in our handler. So in here, we have tweet service handle. Right, we could do this. We get the tweet, and then, sorry, not the tweet service, but rather the comprehend service is not initiated. So comprehend equals new comprehend service. We need to send the tweet. Okay, that's part of our constructor, right? So this is done, and then comprehend analyze. Okay, with this done, I think we should be able to run the command, and we should get logs. Okay, all of them are empty, and that's a little strange. Let's quickly look at the code. This is all fine. AWS key, yes, these are fine. I don't see any problem in here. Comprehend service, JSON encode. What if we do direct dollar result? Maybe that will help. Let's see. Okay, we have quite a few tweets. Oh my. Okay, I'll need to wait a bit. This is one more thing. Consume rate. You can't just continue to uh, run your tweets like anything. You have to be a little careful about this. So loading file changes. Okay, I'm getting this. So result list is something which we will get ideally. Okay, so let me do that over here. Why don't we quickly set up the code? So for sentiment, right? Why don't we show you first? So we have results and then key phrases. This is for key phrases. That's fine. Where is the sentiment? Yeah. So for sentiment, we have the result list, and then in the first key, right? This is an array, right? So the first element should have this sentiment, which gives the actual sentiment, and in here we need to find the sentiment score. Okay, so what we are going to do is we will get the result list, the first element, and then we will save the sentiment key for the sentiment, like whether it is positive, neutral. Okay, these are the values which we get, all these four, and we will also store the score. So come over here. Let's just do a for each dollar result. I'll copy this result key, sorry, result list 0, sentiment score as dollar key, dollar value. Now you can see this is title case, and this is all positive. So we have a problem. We will match it as str lower, string to lower. If my key is equal to the sentiment, okay, I haven't taken this sentiment, right? I need to compare it. So why don't we do one thing? Sentiment will be equal to, I'll take this, okay, oops, and this value, okay. So if once I have this sentiment, why don't we also have a score? Because we need the score, right? So we first save the sentiment, we save the score, and then we iterate through all the sentiment score which we have, okay. And if after doing a string to lower the value matches, then we say that the score is equal to dollar value. This will give us the value of the, I mean, score and the sentiment. So now I can do this tweet sentiment equals dollar sentiment underscore score dollar score, and this tweet save, okay. um, why don't we truncate this table and then refresh, and php artisan queue restart. And now because I'm filing an event, let's see, the sentiments are still not triggered. I think the reason is implements should queue. Anyways, I mean, yeah, I am not running the queue, and that's a problem. I'll stop it for some time, do queue listen, it's processing, okay, it's adding the values, and now it is picking up the sentiment also. Okay, so you can see what had happened was my event was not on queue, so it was running on sync, which means on the thread, and that's why there were so many jobs which were pending, and it took quite some time for the new code to come into existence. Okay, so I'll truncate this again, and this time run the command. So processing processed, so this log means my Redis is in action and it is processing the events. And in here, so you can see there's a small delay. It creates the entry, and then those two are null, and then the sentiment comes in, right? So yeah, that's the first step. And now we need to look at how we can save the keywords. So to save the keywords, let's look at the function. In here, we were updating the tweet to save the sentiment values. However, the keywords is going to be a new table, so the code will be a little different. However, the for each is going to be almost same. So let's copy that. I'll iterate over the result list, and then instead of sentiment score, let me see if I still have that. Here we have key phrases, right? So we will use that. I'll copy this key phrases, and because of the structure, I think we can directly do key phrase. Okay. Now in here, I don't want to do that conditional thing, but I would definitely do a string length. Okay. If my key phrase text is less than equal to 3, I'll just return true. I don't need to save that keyword. So what happens is sometimes you get is, then maybe and those kinds of words which are really not of much importance to us, so we just skip them. Okay, we need to do a mass insert, so I'll first have keywords as a collection, and in here we will do keywords, key phrase, text. Okay, what happened? I made a typo. Key phrase, text. Okay, so with this we will have all the keywords in that collection, and then on the tweet, because we have the relation, we can have keywords, create many, and keywords, right? So I think we are done in this. I think it is looking for a return statement, right? So we'll add that to both of them, return true. Okay, and let's then clear this log first and try to run the code again. Okay, we are here, q flush and listen. Okay, it's processing things, so let's look at that. It is making entries. One was null. I think it broke because in the middle I had to restart my laptop. Let's look at keywords. I'm getting keywords in here, but it's only one with tweet ID 43. That's not what I wanted. Let me close this. I'll flush all. I'll clear my Redis connection once and start this again. Okay, right. And let's see. Processing, processed. Okay, and I have keywords, right? So as you can see, we are now able to get the tweets. Okay, right, we are getting the tweets with the sentiment. So we have a negative sentiment and all those things we are able to get, and obviously we are also getting the keywords for those tweets. So this is really a nice way of using the NLP services through Amazon. And just as an idea, maybe you want to analyze the sentiments of the users tweeting about a company, let's say about or maybe as we saw, we are looking at the sentiments of tweets for COVID-19. We will be able to analyze what kind of tweets people are doing, who is happy, who is not, those kinds of things. So yeah, I think the limits of Amazon Comprehend is huge. I just showed you how to use the API. How you use it in real life is really limitless, and it's up to you how you do it. If you have any ideas, do share those in the comment section below, so that I also know what you people are thinking. It's a long video, and this is something which I tried for the first time. I wanted to club the entire content into one video so that you guys can look at it in one shot, and I don't have that pressure of continuously creating videos throughout the week, because that really becomes a little difficult. So yeah, this is my experiment. I hope you guys like it. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like my video, do click on the thumbs up icon, and yes, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.